Like out. It's Pastor Free, and these are the free rants. Alright, so it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a video, maybe even a month. But I send out these monthly or weekly newsletters to my congregation, and that's the way I kind of communicate a weekly message. But I have received a couple of emails, phone calls, text messages saying, hey, what happened to the weekly free rant type things? And it's not that they were discontinued. I was just going old school with it and typing. This week I'm going to just go ahead and do both. So I've written something to the congregation that I just want to read via social cam. This week I want to say a brief message about when time is of the essence. I plan to preach a series this month entitled What a Week. Some things have shifted around, and so I'm going to write about one of the parts of the series in this week's writing. The series will look at the Passion Week, or the last week of Jesus' life before the crucifixion. As I was reading through the Passion narrative, I was haunted by this question. If I had 24 hours to live, and I knew it, what would I do? When I was a teenager, I used to love this rap song by Mace, who's now Pastor Mason Bether, called If I Had 24 Hours to Live. In the rap song, he explores some of the things that he would do in light of his imminent death. He talks about engaging illicit sex, telling certain people he loved them, and a few other things that he had put off in his life. In a similar way, the movie The Bucket List addresses the concept of accomplishing certain things before death. For the most part, we are blessed with the unknown. Because we rarely know when death is to come, we are not burdened with prioritizing things accordingly. If we knew we had an allotted amount of time, we would probably make some different choices. However, since we don't know, shouldn't we live more so in a way that considers the temporary nature of this life? I looked at the last couple of days before the Lord was crucified, and because he is God, he had to have known when, where, and how he would die. With this knowledge, surely his actions were calculated, and they set an example for us. Because we don't know when death awaits or when we will be unable to do what we can do today for whatever reason, be it a job loss or a loss of limbs or a loved one passing away, then we should take our cues from the last days of the Master. With the approach of his dying day, look at this. First, the Lord served. We see him helping people, waiting on his disciples, and even washing their feet. Most of us would want to be served if we were approaching death, but Jesus served. We also know that secondly, the Lord fellowshiped. He broke bread with his disciples. Essentially, he spent time with the people who had meaning in his life. How sad a commentary that sometimes when people die that we love, we have the regret that we didn't spend adequate time with them. Also, thirdly, the Lord prayed. In the garden, he spent time in prayer. His fellowship with God was as important, if not more so, than his fellowship with friends and family. And finally, we would contend that the Lord warned or he taught. He cautioned his disciples of what was ahead, and he shared his wisdom with them in love. Those who have learned or received revelation by experience should also share this with those who will welcome it to help them to avoid danger and calamity. Friends, the truth is that this life is temporary. Whether we are 22 or 82, tomorrow is simply not promised to any of us. We don't know when we will die, when Jesus will return, or when life will change for us in a way that deeply impacts our existence. So, friend, I encourage you to live each day before God as though it is your last. Value your friendships, honor your loved ones, serve your fellow man, and worship your God. Don't allow your life to end with a list of regrets. May the love of God swallow you and encourage you to live the abundant life. God bless you. Pastor Free.